Hello. Good evening. Welcome back, Sellies, to another episode of Hunter the Reckoning 5th Edition, Draining the Swamp. We return again to Morgan City, Louisiana and the surrounding areas, but not the real Morgan City, Louisiana. This is not the city of offshore oil workers and fanboat bayou tours, though those things certainly dress the windows of our lens. Our chronicle exists in the alternate, grittier, world of darkness version of Morgan City, Louisiana, a place where monsters of myth and legend live among mortals and influence their affairs for their own benefits. A place where something dark and brooding lives hidden just outside of our vision and calls to the deepest fear of our souls. But this is not the chronicle of that monster or of those monsters or of the world of darkness, Morgan City. This is the chronicle of four mortals who have seen through the monster's miserable masquerade and are driven to reach in the shadows and bring the dark things to light. It is a horror story that incorporates and includes mature themes and content, including but not limited to body horror, graphic violence, blood, death, power imbalances, social injustice, drug use, and in some cases, references to sexual activity. Please be advised, this chronicle is for mature audiences only. If you're prepared to hear language that may not be suitable for the time and place you're viewing this chronicle, or hear hunters address themes that might cause chills to run down your spine, then come walk with me through the Spanish moss, listen to the sound of the skeeters, and let's tell a hunter story. Hey everybody, welcome to Heroic Sue's Gaming, the stream that we've got going on here, and welcome to our game, Hunter the Reckoning, Draining the Swamp episode. Oh no, it's 2. I still have 1 up. Alright, we'll have to fix that later, maybe after the break, or during the break, but, oh man, so many things to do to run this stream. How's it going, guys?
Going good. Going good over here.
We've got some technical difficulties. For those of you that are viewing, you might notice there's some changes happening right now or some things missing in the screen. We have a camera that is not working properly and a player's computer is not working properly or something. We're not sure, but we've got some technical difficulties. But today, we're going to continue our story from last time. And last time, our hunters were investigating the murder of Latrine / Laverne Nurnham, who was murdered in the Red Roof Motel. Under mysterious circumstances that the sheriff's department apparently did not want to investigate beyond it simply being drug-related, and that was the end of that. But it's a little too weird and a little too strange, and our hunters, looked into that to discover some very strange things. What exactly did you guys discover? Does anyone want to tell me what you found out and what you're looking into?
Well, it kind of was drug-related.
Kind of, right?
But not in the way that the sheriff's department believes or admits. So we found that there is this bizarre substance called milk that will infect you with these spores that have mushrooms growing on your innards, and then you die.
We also discovered that the individuals who did milk were torn apart by what evidence indicates was a supernatural force. The amount of damage inflicted would have required several vehicles worth of strength. And since it was done in a hotel room, probably not that. It's probably not what happened.
That's right. And you have
So,
some leads on that particular thing because you noticed some stuff and you think that it might be related to this particular biker gang, right?
found evidence of a motorcycle gang at the second crime scene, a bayou side bar sort of place, locals only. Obviously, when we got there, it was a bloodbath, which we proceeded to investigate and then burn to the ground to hide evidence.
That is true. And in that process, you guys got stopped.
Well, by you guys, you mean.
Mm-hmm.
I think, well, yeah, it was. Who was it? It was. Bradley was driving, I was in the car, and who else was there?
I believe it was me.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey.
Alex, the professor, and Mr. Bradley.
That is correct. So you guys got stopped by the sheriff. Now, I didn't tell you the sheriff deputy's name who stopped you, but I think that you probably would have seen a name tag, like, would have seen the name. And it was, the name that was there was, it just said, because it's usually just their last name. It said Benoit, right? Or if you're unexperienced, Benoit, right? And that was the name that you saw on the name tag.
Gotcha.
Also, I on the fly fixed our screen, so it's corrected. Because, skills. Anyway, yeah. Yeah, so that was the name that you saw. So that's all of the recap from our previous episode.
Nice.
But you guys went home. Some of you decided to go off on your own and go into the garage and work on your thing until much late into the evening. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, did we lose Cameron, are you there? Cameron? Cameron? Oh no. Even more
Wizard has appeared.
No. Even more technical difficulties apparently still occurring as we go. This might be an interesting episode of us just showing everyone out there what it's like trying to run one of these things. Well, we lost Cameron. So Cameron let me know that Joe, after like all of this stuff, he was a little shaken by the splatters of blood that was on him, and cleaned himself up, and then went into the garage and spent about half the night or so working on his drone and sort of modifying it, and in a way that was sort of defensive, right? He was a little worried that you guys were going to have to deal with something that was powerful and scary and murdering people. So he added weapons to his drone.
Excellent.
So that's what he was doing during about half the night or so, and then he went to sleep, he said around 2 or 3 a.m., and then intends to not wake up until about noon the next day. So that's what I know about his character.
Alex spent the evening in the lab reverse engineering some of the components of milk and adding it to her own special concoction. Professional chemists made this thing to do certain things, and things like binding agents were really useful in creating certain enhancements, which we will probably get to see.
Hopefully.
And I spent most of the evening basically going back to the books and getting some better interpretations of some of the permutations of the collective unconsciousness that we witnessed, and and kind of gotten in better touch with the greater synchronicity of things, to the point where now I can quite possibly sense unnatural things as long as I have my Rorschach interpretation guide.
Yeah, right. some symbols and things have started to make like new meaning in your world.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
We'll get more into those as we go throughout this campaign, symbols and things. But cool. Yeah. So you guys ended up, the hunters ended up sort of sleeping, right? Eventually at some point. And I'm guessing that Jason got lost in the library looking at more stuff. And that's why he's probably crashed somewhere in some corner nook of the library reading something in a chair, and that's where you'll end up finding him eventually, or he'll find himself.
Gotcha.
But or I don't know, maybe he's swinging his sword around in the yard. I'm not sure. And maybe things went real south for him. Don't know, but we'll get into that later in probably a later episode. But you guys decide to sleep, and so by sleeping, you gain back 1 willpower. Right? None of you have taken any aggravated willpower damage. Right? It's all superficial that you've taken so far.
I didn't even take that, but
Right.
yes.
Some of you were spending willpower to gain extra dice throughout the previous game, and so you lost some willpower. That's superficial willpower damage. So by sleeping, you've gained that back. So at the start of this session, you've sort of gained some back.
Cool.
I mean, technically, it's not sleeping per se. It's like the start of the session, but hey, I'm calling it that to make it make sense. So yeah, so that's what's happened. So you guys take up the next day, and you have a plan for what you want to do. So I'll let you guys tell me what your plan is, and we'll work from there. We'll continue to roll this investigation the way that you want to see where it leads you.
Cool. As the one most familiar with illicit activity, I think that I have the best chance of going into this biker bar and finding some information. A couple theories about how to do that. And the best one would be I get a motorcycle and ride up as a fellow biker. Not necessarily part of the group, but someone looking for maybe some motor work in town or some other kind of work. I'm also tempted to take some milk with me. Not using it, but since we found it at both of the crime scenes, it seems like whatever kind of creature is killing these users can't detect the stuff until it's used.
Oh yeah, because we found it on the site. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we find any at the shack?
Yeah, I think we did.
Okay. I know I remember finding it in the vent, but not. Okay.
Either, yeah, I can take it in, or you guys can have it outside. If these guys are the ones that we're thinking of, then they have a solid reason not to want to get this stuff on them, which makes it weapon adjacent.
I mean, if that's a risk you're willing to take.
Also, if I manage to get in contact with one of them who actually knows what he's talking about, I can be like, here, I have the thing you're trying to destroy. Yeah, if I can get someone talking in there, that would be convenient. Otherwise, probably try to lure them out and grab them. Monsters tend to be more conversational when they're locked up.
So your intent is to either infiltrate or lure out,
and kidnap somebody. Yeah. Of course, if they just turn out to be humans, it's just kidnapping. But
you have a van, so that tracks. You can just throw a bag over the head and throw them in the van. Hope that they're not something that can just destroy you for doing that.
That would be unfortunate.
Okay.
Yeah, Doc, how do you feel about buying a motorcycle or renting one so I can pull off this character that I'm trying to make?
I think we can do that. We aren't lucky enough that Jason has a motorcycle laying around, are we?
I mean, I don't think that he was paying attention to any of his resources anyway. So I think that aside from this safe house that he's inherited somehow, I don't know that he actually has any means of actual mobility aside from maybe Ubering every now and then.
Gotcha.
Technically, right?
Gotcha.
This is a classic flaw of a RPG player not paying attention to how much money you actually have in a game where that kind of matters.
I know how much money I have, and it's just 0.
Yeah, I can definitely rent a motorcycle.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I've got 3 resources.
Yeah, 3 resources. Easily could rent one. I mean, I don't know. I actually don't know what the daily rental for a motorcycle is, but I assume that it's probably around $100 or something for a day, right? Like, I don't know that it would be much more than that.
I don't even know if it'd be that much.
Right, exactly.
Car rentals are like 25, but yeah.
I guess.
Well, there's usually fees and stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, so in the end, it comes out to
Yeah.
like 65 or 75, right?
Yeah.
So I would imagine
still,
that it's probably about the same, right, for a motorcycle. So I imagine that resource system would probably handle that.
All right, and then there's something we need, We need our tech guy for.
Yeah.
Which is sabotage. I need this bike to run, but have something wrong with it. That way, I have a reason to roll up and say, "Hey there, fellow bikers."
Hello, fellow bikers. There's something wrong with my bike.
Yeah.
Help me solve this mystery. Something weird that shouldn't be broken, but is. There's a rattle in my spraddle, and I can't figure it out.
At least I'll have, something to talk about.
Right.
Problem, of course, is going to be easing from something's wrong with my motorcycle into did you tear apart 6 people? It's a bit of a challenge.
Okay, so actually, we for a Harley, we are looking at about $200 a day.
Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking. About $100 for.
Yeah.
I'm gonna assume that small town motorcycle rentals probably trashier bikes, but also probably lower priced, right? Probably not a Harley, but probably maybe a Harley, but like an older Harley or like some kind of Yamaha knockoff or something, cruiser bike.
Okay. What kind of bikes are they on?
I mean, so that's the thing is the one thing that you remember from seeing the symbols, they weren't on any specific type of bike. They were on all kinds of bikes. Gotcha. So that symbol was on essentially something. Essentially, it appeared as though the only qualifications was a motorcycle, which is a bit unusual because most motorcycle clubs have like a particular style of motorcycle that they like, mostly because, and it has nothing to do with it has a lot to do with image, but also when they ride together, if you have dramatically different bikes that have dramatically different styles of riding and speeds, it creates a weird situation when you're trying to go down the highway together. When you have one that's like barely keeping the thing stable because they need to go much faster for it to work properly.
Right.
And you've got one guy who's like pushing it to the max and he's, barely keeping up. Then you have these different levels. But these guys definitely didn't seem to have a preference. There was just a smattering of different kinds of motorcycles.
Interesting.
Cool. Can the professor go by before I do and just check out their graffiti and their setup and stuff?
Yeah. I'll during the day, I'll kind of. What else is down? You said that's by the train tracks, right? The bar.
Yes. Yeah. Sorry, it's by the train tracks.
I went by it just as I arrived.
Right. That's what I was remembering. So yeah, we'll maybe Bradley, I'll have him drive me down by there. If there is a place outside that I could get a good look at it from that I wouldn't look out of place, then I'll definitely do that. Because I recognize that I would not fit in hanging out like right outside of it.
So we have a motorcycle rented for like $100.
Okay.
Does Does the professor want to do his research first, observe the place?
Yeah, because I imagine that you're gonna have better luck going at night.
Yeah.
So, and I would like to look at the graffiti and such during the day.
Sure.
And
So you want to go check out the graffiti during the daytime, and then get some information about this gang or what you can, and then sometime in the evening time, Alex will roll up and play biker girl on a sabotage motorcycle. Got it. Okay. So rolling up on the bar in the daytime, it is next to, you asked me while I was trying to figure out everything with Cameron, it is next to the railroad tracks. It is really close to the Sacred Heart Catholic Church.
Okay.
So basically, the Sacred Heart Catholic Church is on one side of the tracks, and on the other side of the tracks is some houses and some other buildings, and then at the end of that block, where it then hits like a main street, that's where you'll find the bar. The bar initially, at least it seems like a bar. When you roll up on it, you see these motorcycles on front. There are a smattering of different kinds of motorcycles, all with these bird logos on it. These sort of images of a bird.
A specific type of bird?
Yeah, it's a nightjar. A whippoorwill, actually, is the type of bird that you see.
That is, I understand that one, yes.
A nightjar is a type of bird, and the whippoorwill is one type of nightjar bird.
I see.
Yeah. So there are other types of nightjar birds, but that's particularly the one that you see.
Yes.
But yeah, it is the same logo, so I don't mean to say that it's like different birds. It's the same bird that they have, right? It's just like it's not exactly a whippoorwill. It's kind of different, but it's similar. But you get the idea. It's that type of bird. But it doesn't. There's not like a really. It's not like a lot of bars where they have like a marquee with like a name or like a sign with a name. But you get it when you get close. You can see that there's a name on it, like on the door. There's a large African American gentleman sitting in what appears to be some kind of computer chair or something, some kind of cushiony, supposed to be in an office chair that he has out in front of the front door, and he's just kind of relaxing on it. He does appear to be a biker in some aspects, but do you have any streetwise?
No.
Okay, then we'll just say that for you, he looks like a biker.
Yeah.
In many ways, he's wearing a vest, and he's wearing like a black like sleeveless shirt underneath it. So it's a black vest, a black sleeveless shirt. It's got a name on it. It says Bubs, like one of those name placards, like a name patch. It says Bubs.
Yeah.
And then he's wearing just like jeans and like black boots. And he just looks like he's more like chilling in this chair that shouldn't be outside. It should be inside an office somewhere, chilling outside the doors to the bar. But otherwise, that's what you see on the outside.
Okay. And where is the graffiti?
The birds? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, well, like you were saying, the birds, and wasn't there like a bunch of graffiti outside the bar? I thought I remember hearing.
Sure, why not? There's some graffiti outside the bar. It wasn't. I don't think I expressly mentioned that specifically, but if I did and I just don't remember, then fine. But we could say there's some graffiti outside the bar. There's just a various bunch of tags and stuff. I could throw some things together, for sure.
Yeah. I of course, since I can't look at them with any knowledge of gang signs or anything like that, I am going to look at them from a more of an occult standpoint to see like what kind of symbolism I'm seeing. And also, do the night jars, outside of historically being known as goat suckers, is there any kind of like significance to them, symbolic significance that I am aware of?
Based on your like occult knowledge and your psychological knowledge, there's some sort of thing with like a psychopomp or something, where there's like the bird can be a symbol of like soul carrying or sort of that kind of thing, where it's like it's a symbol of like the soul and the manifestation of it in potentially, in some cases carrying souls or ferrying souls places. So there's some connection to the air flight of a soul when it leaves the body and birds. And in this particular case, that's kind of the symbols in this way that you see from these bird symbols, right? That there's potentially a pseudo mystical psychological concept related to these birds and something about souls, right?
Okay. And is that kind of what bears out in any of the imagery in the graffiti?
The graffiti has some of those elements, but there's a few other things that go along with that. Let me open the thing with the symbols, because I didn't print that off. Where are you? Where did you go? There you are. So there's a few other symbols that also exist. And if I can get to the page of my notes where I put that in. There we go. So you find some other things. You do find some other wing-like things that sort of represent that same kind of concept. So you do see a lot of that sort of soul concept. But then there's also this sort of thing about like blood and a cycle of death and rebirth. That's not really like common in graffiti, but common in this graffiti, right? So there's this cyclicalness to like a growth, a harvest, or regrowth, in like a weird motif. Like someone's working in some kind of mural, but they suck at it, right? Like they're still like an amateur graffiti artist or something. There's some,
I see.
Yeah, growth in plants, something with the soul psychopomp bird thing, and that kind of stuff.
Okay. Okay.
I like how my drink got blurred out, like I don't own the rights to show it, so no copyright infringements, right?
Convenient.
No product placement. Perfect.
Yeah, after you got that cease and desist from Budweiser, there went that sweet revenue stream. And all right, so we're seeing some like ferrying souls to the afterlife, and kind of birth, death, rebirth cycles. Do these match up with any kind of like voodoo imagery, or is there like an overlap?
Yes, actually, yes. There's some voodoo imagery overlap, but it does feel there's some difference, but there is some overlap, right? So there's a little bit of voodoo mixed in. So whomever is doing a lot of this graffiti obviously has some kind of voodoo background or something,
right.
Something voodoo adjacent.
And voodoo is such a eclectic mix of beliefs anyway. Like it always adapts other faiths and imagery. So
hence it, like I said, voodoo adjacent. Like that. Yeah. There'd be a link for sure.
Okay. Good to know. All right. So. Okay. So now I just want to think about. So I'll get some. I'll get Bradley to get some pictures of the imagery, but I'll head back and kind of report this. That these. Did we ever have a name for the biker gang? Okay. Yeah, like it's some kind of shepherding kind of Yeah, like that's kind of what I'm feeling. It's like this. They're here to kind of keep that circle of life moving and getting people moving them on to the afterlife. So it's like this kind of shepherding kind of imagery.
Like they have an actual Grim Reaper vibe, but not the Grim Reaper.
I mean, yeah, I would say they could be a Grim Reaper. Yeah. And ooh, I wonder if instead of a corporate hit squad like we were thinking, that these are people who are maybe opposed to something that might be disrupting that natural order of things, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, it's all speculation. We don't have anywhere near enough information to really go from there, but
yeah, they could be corp hired, or they could be anti-corp, or they could not know that that's where this stuff is coming from.
Right. Or it might not even, they might not even look at it in terms of like who is running it. It just might be, these things are some kind of an affront to their natural way of being or something.
Yeah.
Like we don't know what the long-term effects of this are on these people other than having mushrooms in their intestines.
You raise an excellent point there. Well, I suppose I should go ask them. Did you detect anything specifically supernatural?
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I would have definitely been using my sense the unnatural, looking at that imagery, kind of consulting my Rorschach guide.
So make a what is it? Is it resolve plus occult? Is that what it is, or is it composure?
Sense the unnatural is wits plus occult.
Okay, wits plus occult. All right. Make that roll.
So that's /WOD and then the number.
Yeah. And you have we're still at just one desperation, so you haven't
Oh, did that go back down?
No, it's at 1. It was 2 danger.
Oh, danger's at 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have 1 desperation, so you can add that because you're trying to find out information, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I'll let you use it in this case.
Yeah.
Right, you're an inquisitor.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's an inquisitive type.
Delightful.
Yeah, there's some discussion in some of those forums, like I said, about desperation dice and special abilities, but
wrong channel.
Oh.
What? Oh, yeah, you've got to do it. You've got to do it in the table, in the dice rolling one.
I do not have access to that.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Okay.
Well, you fix that.
Game table's the very top.
Yeah. But I moved it, so it should be the same because I just moved it. It shouldn't have any different.
Okay. Yes, it was just off my screen.
Yeah.
Okay, game table. Yes. All right. Wand.
There we go.
Dice 5. Desperation 1.
Clean up your Discord and cause people to not be able to find. Oh my gosh.
That's rough. Willpower.
Yeah.
I mean, I would. Otherwise, we got to talk about how despair works.
Yeah. This early, before you even looked at it.
Good Lord. Yeah.
Yeah.
Select up to 3 dice to reroll.
I would take some superficial willpower damage and reroll.
Yes.
Although I think it's kind of interesting that you spent an hour trying to read the deep psychological meanings of graffiti, and we're like, oh God. Oh God.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Yeah, because it was for those at home. There were no successes on any of the dice, and then a 1 on the desperation die. So that's like the worst possible roll.
Yes, but it is now a desperate success because
Yeah.
I got 2 successes.
Cool. All right, my friend. That is
Oh.
a success.
Oh God.
So you're fine.
Wait, does it get more dangerous when there's a
Oh wait,
one on that
did you
dice?
actually succeed?
I did succeed, yes.
Well, there's success. I guess we don't know the DC.
Well, there's usually one set for it. So hold on, give me a second.
Yeah, you do. We
I mean, I am.
Oh wait, no, because it's an edge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see. Sense is
No, 3 to
difficulty
5.
3 to 5.
3 to 5.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh,
I mean,
So I
assuming
do
it was a
not
3, then I'm gonna have to. Do you want to make it this way, or do you want to just overreach?
Overreach increases our danger, right?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
And what does despair do?
So it stops you from being able to access your desperation dice because you can't access your drive anymore. So you essentially have to redeem yourself in order to get that back.
I'm gonna stick with the overreach. I think, especially like I could have been. I was probably spotted by.
Yeah,
like,
you're sitting
one of the
there for like an
bikers.
hour or so, just like staring at the graffiti wall, like really thinking up. And so eventually, like Bubs kind of says something to like somebody. Like maybe one of the guys rolls up, right? So this is how we're gonna play it. One of the guys rolls up on his motorcycle, right? Gets out, kind of looks over, then he walks over to Bubs. They talk for a second, and he stands at the door while Bubs gets up and starts coming. He walks over to you. He's like, "Hey, what are you doing? It's a member-only place."
Just enjoying the art.
Well, why don't you get out of here?
I will do so.
Okay.
And I kind of respectfully nod and get out of here.
As you start to pull away, right, a sheriff's deputy vehicle pulls up and into the parking lot. But you can see as you drive past the deputy looking at you guys. And it's that moment where Bradley's driving away and he makes eye contact. And he makes eye contact with the same sheriff deputy that you've already seen before.
Fucking pigs.
Good
Always watching us do our monster hunting activities.
Yeah. Deputy Benoit.
Deputy Benoit.
Your danger is now at 3.
That's a lot of danger. That's 60% of max danger.
Yeah. All right. I will return and relay all of this information to include the increase in danger.
Okay.
Just for insight into that, it didn't look like Deputy Benoit was showing up because he'd been called by anybody. It looked like he was rolling in to like visit, right? Like his lights weren't on. He wasn't actually intending to like stop you guys. It wasn't like the guy at the
Right.
bar had called anyone. Like no cell phones had come out. The deputy was just pulling in as you were pulling away.
So he was going to the biker bar.
That's the feeling.
We think.
Okay.
I mean, maybe he was doing his job and he was going to question some people. You don't
Maybe.
know, but you didn't stick around to find out what he was doing.
That's just crazy talk.
Cool. Well,
I suppose I should be sabotaging a motorbike.
You should be
Indeed.
sabotaging a motorbike. So the intended sabotage is that the motorcycle will still function as a motorcycle, but will have something slightly wrong that clearly needs some repair, but isn't obvious enough to just be like any amateur can notice it, right?
yes.
Yep.
It's a pretty specific kind of flaw. Also,
Like squeaky brakes, some weird sounds in the engine.
Yeah, the weird sounds in the engine is probably I think what what we're meaning here, because like a squeaky brake is like, okay, I need replacement of brake pads or something, but like a weird engine sound could be any number of like several dozen moving parts. And so somebody who knows a little bit about motorcycles might not know exactly what the problem is, right? But somebody who knows a lot about motorcycles might know exactly what the problem is.
Something is wrong with this.
Yeah.
Please tell me what. Also, you know what? Alex has a bad idea that she's going to store in the back of her head.
Okay.
Oh no.
Yeah. I'm not sure any of you guys are shady enough for that idea just yet.
Okay. So,
but so I won't have you, unless you want to. You can make a roll if you want to.
I mean, if I'm gonna succeed without rolling, I'm not putting that energy on myself. Not at danger 3.
Yeah, I feel that you probably would be able to work it out based just on your general technical knowledge and skill. Right. So like, you might like just like the thing with the brake pads. Like you might think about brake pads, and you're like, wait, no, it's got to be harder than brake pads. You know, but it can't be too hard because the motorcycle's supposed to run. So like you're smart enough to be able to figure out something, right, clever, without having to like make a roll to see if you chance it right or whatever.
Cool.
So given some time, basically all the time Dr. Dreyfus is over there scrutinizing things and getting caught by bikers, then you managed to pull it off. So you've got the thing rattling, doing something weird, maybe like totally fine for a long bit, then all of a sudden like a random like spurt of like exhaust, like random like for some reason, something that just is like an odd, that should not be happening, but also it's not happening all the time, so I'm not sure what it is, kind of thing. Just something slightly off.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So, Alex, you're used to going into places like this, right?
Yeah. I mean, I've been to my share of raves and punk more than my share of raves and punk shows and bars, and yeah, CD
Raves
is my
and punk
zone.
shows and places. Okay, CD, but like these are possible organized crime monsters. Is that okay?
Yeah, when I was 14, I met my first hardcore meth dealer. When I was 15, people who were dealing on a national scale were taking me aside and being like, "Hey, are you okay? Yeah? Well, here's how you do some stuff." So yeah.
Joe, he won't say anything about it, acknowledge it, but Joe definitely sort of raises an eyebrow, right? This is not the world that he belongs in. Intelligently, he doesn't acknowledge it. He goes, okay, are you going to be stopped if you try to bring any weapons in? Should you go alone? I mean, I know myself and the doctor don't exactly look the part, but...
I should go alone. I will definitely be packing. And...
Do you want me nearby with the engine started?
Yeah, if you guys are close, if I have to make a quick exit, frankly, that's kind of the thing I'm good at. So, yeah.
Yeah, we can
be on standby. In a perfect world, no guns will get fired. In this world, I may have to blow somebody's head off and run.
I tested my iPad, and my newly gun-toting dog drone pads over, and it's like, yeah, if guns start going off, he'll help you out.
Excellent. Yeah. All right. Leather jacket, chaps, helmet. Like, okay.
All right.
Let's go chat up a werewolf.
Let's make a mistake.
Yeah.
An easy stakeout location that you guys could probably use without getting into any trouble or getting any notice whatsoever would be the Sacred Heart Catholic Church. Like I said, it's about a block away or so-ish from the bar. You could easily see it from, some of the, like, because remember how it's not just one story, it's multiple stories. You could easily see it if you did some sort of creative thing or sat on top of the van or something. You could easily see the bar from the parking lot of the Sacred Heart Catholic Church. Yeah. And you happen to know somebody who'd probably let you do that without getting anyone, just let everyone who asks, like, hey, Father Martin, why is there this random van in the parking lot? And he would just wave them off and go, oh, it's fine. Don't worry about those.
It's the maintenance man.
So that would be the smartest move on your part to get close without being like, what's the word I'm looking for? Not suspicious, but
Yeah,
I'll be
observe
right
from a
back.
distance.
yeah.
So I'm gonna. You guys are nearby, watching my back,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna go try to talk to these bikers
Cool.
who might be able to rip people apart.
I think I even have my flying drone like way over the bar, just in case Alex gets taken out the back door or something.
Yeah, I mean an easy
Good call.
An easy cover too is like, you know, you could be standing out flying the drone, but standing in the parking lot, look like you're just kind of like you're using the parking lot for the church as like where you're set up, but you're
I'm taking
flying a drone.
photography.
Yeah.
I'm making the church's new website. Volunteer work for the
Yeah,
church.
exactly.
I'm so pious.
Easy cover, no problem.
Yeah.
And in theory, your friend would back you if anyone questioned hard enough, right? Like, oh yeah. We're making a new website, Facebook thing. You know, lives they're popular.
www.fathermartin.com.
Right. I've got my own Twitch stream for that podcast they want me to do.
Father Martin on Twitch. That's a terrifying thought.
Funny story. The Sacred Heart Catholic Church in Morgan City, Louisiana, actually does do live shows on Facebook periodically where they, you know, just do stuff. So this is actually not awkward.
Nice.
I cheated on an anthropology final by watching live streamed Catholic masses.
It's a thing.
Is that cheating?
It's not cheating.
I was supposed to go
World of
with someone
technology.
who was part of it, but I couldn't get that arranged, so I just watched a VOD.
We live in the
another
year
mass.
2022, right? Okay, like that's
Yeah.
fine.
Mhm.
All right, so that's what you do. So you guys set up, and then Alex is gonna roll up on this bar.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah.
You wait till nightfall or sometime
Sunset,
sunset.
early evening.
Reasonable.
Dusk.
When you roll up at dusk to the bar, the sheriff's deputy truck, the SUV, is still in the parking lot, as well as several motorcycles. They all just, you know, like they're not gathering dust, but they've been there for a while.
Okay.
You've got this large African American gentleman sitting in a chair.
I don't know if I can make this work with the deputy. Because we told him we got lost, and I'm going to go in there and converse with people who are... Shoot.
It's too late now. We stepped in it, but we gotta wipe it off.
Okay, yeah. I'm going to roll up and try to park.
Okay. So you go to park your motorcycle, and the large guy doesn't even get up out of the chair. He just goes, "You lost?"
Yeah, a little bit. I don't know where to find a mechanic, and this thing's making some noise. I don't want to take it back out on the road. Do you mind if I pull in here?
You just gonna work on that thing in our parking lot?
I was hoping there might be, you know, a handsome gentleman on hand who could help me out. More of a rider, less of a mechanic.
You see him kind of give you a face. Seems to be thinking about it, and then he goes to get up. And when he gets up, you can now see his like vest and everything. You have a pretty decent streetwise, right?
Oh yeah.
So it's not he's not a full member of this club, right? Motorcycle clubs have a series of patches that indicate various levels. He has just the name patch, no other patches.
Cool.
So he's obviously some kind of like soon to be member, a trainee kind of thing, like a pledge of the organization essentially. He's not quite a full member yet. But I mean he is watching the door, right? So he has some sort of standing, right? He is acceptable enough. But he gets up and he starts coming towards you. He's clearly like he's got a bit of a smile on his face, and he's he licks his lips a little bit, kind of looks you up and down.
Bro. So yeah, if you could go find somebody who's like, you know, a member, a serious mechanic. I don't know. Are you a mechanic?
Yeah, I've got some skills. Yeah.
Cool. Nice to meet you, Alex.
I'm Bubs.
Bubs.
Yeah.
Right on. I like pull my backpack off the bike and take a step back. Go ahead, see if you can fix her up. That'd be great.
He
Mind
squats
if I grab a
down.
drink?
He's like, well, actually, you gotta be invited in by a member, or be a member.
Right. Okay. Do you mind if I find a member to invite me? Or are you going to?
Well, I don't. Why don't you try to see if you can convince this guy to let you in?
Cool. We looking at a little manipulation, subterfuge, manipulation, persuasion. What are we thinking?
Which of those is your favorite?
I'd rather do subterfuge.
So we're gonna go with persuasion. Just make this hard on you.
Brutal.
So it's just the number of dice, right?
Yeah.
Do I get my underground bonus because this is both like I'm infiltrating and also
Yeah, I
some
guess
kind of
so. Yeah, I
organization?
guess you would. Yeah, you definitely would. This is
Yeah,
where you're doing your thing.
Now, how do I add the desperation dice?
So the desperation dice, it's 1 die, so you would just add that as an additional die to the pool. In the roller, I think it's just you add it as like a thing where you do like the slash wad thing.
Yep. Slash wad dice 6.
Is that your manipulation plus persuasion?
Yes.
Okay. And then your
Plus 1.
desperation would be 1. And we look like
Gotcha.
that.
So I roll the desperation separately.
Yes, it's a separate die. Don't look at my numbers. Mine was just a
Oh.
test.
Oh, you scared. Marginally better.
Yes, but you didn't
And
add a
then-
desperation die.
No, this would be the desperation dice.
All right.
Cool.
All right. That's good. 3. That is more than I was wanting you to get, so that's fine. Because
I
he's
reminded this guy that he is
difficulty of 2.
low level, doesn't actually know what he's doing on a bike, and
Mhm.
like, yeah, you gonna invite me in?
He's like yeah, okay. And he opens the door and he shouts and he goes, "Everyone, this is Alex. She's a friend of mine. Give her a drink."
And I roll.
So in you walk
Yep.
to this bar. The inside of this bar is kind of covered in a bunch of old photos. It's very clear. The name of the bar is the Gallows. That's what you get when you come in the door. It's what's written on the door in very small letters, but because you're walking by it, you can see it. So the Gallows. And inside there's a bunch of pictures of like old pictures of a gallows, like a hangman's like gallows place. Just the platform, the ropes. Some of the pictures have people standing on the platforms, but the biggest picture of them all is a picture of a woman with the rope around her neck, actually hung, and it's a huge photo, and it's almost life-sized for the person, and it hangs above the jukebox in the corner of the room. The jukebox is playing some random Neil Young at the moment when you come in.
Cool.
And it's just a bunch of guys in there. There's only one other girl now that you've come in, and it's the bartender. She's also wearing a similar jacket to the jacket that he's or vest, the one that Bubs is wearing. Only this doesn't have a name patch, and it feels like it's more like a blending in kind of vest than an actual trying to join this gang vest.
Gotcha.
Because everyone else is wearing them, so it would be awkward for one person not to be. Or so it seems. But anyway, the rest of them are wearing similar vests, only they're of various levels. Some of them are made out of cloth, some are denim, but they're black. And they have a bazillion patches on them indicating all kinds of stuff, but mostly that everyone's a member of the gang. There's only one person in the place not wearing one of these vests, and he's instead wearing the brown shirt and brown pants of a sheriff's deputy.
Cool.
He's sitting with his back to you, fortunately, as you come in.
Very.
And there's just this room full of just these large guys.
Uh,
The sheriff is sitting at a table with one other person, a sort of skinnier, smaller African-American black man. who has what appears to be a full face helmet just sitting on the table next to him. Clearly not a cruiser motorcycle rider, more like a street bike rider.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Glancing around at Vest, does it look like the guy talking to the sheriff is the senior?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
The name of the biker gang is the Nightjar Riders, and it has that same bird symbol as like the patch on the back.
Cool. Yeah, by the way, I realized I should have probably rolled 2 more dice for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have beautiful quality at level 2.
Yeah, you definitely should have rolled 2 more dice with that.
All right.
Because you're pretty.
Indeed. I will. Yeah, I'm going to sidle up to the bar, order a shot, and kind of just see who comes over.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I'm the oddity here, so
yeah.
I expect a response.
Sure.
Cool.
Yeah. So the bartender, the lady, she comes across the bar to you, and she wipes it down a little bit. She says, "What do you want, hon?"
Shot of whiskey, please.
Okay.
Make it 2.
She pours the whiskey. She's like, "My name is Trix. What you said? He say your name was Alex?
Yeah, Alex.
Alex, you're not. I don't think I recognize you, Alex. Your people live around here?
They do not. I just rode in from very far west on my way to pretty far east, and had some engine trouble. Thought a bunch of professional bikers might know what to do.
Yeah. I see. Okay, well, it's a little unusual. This being members only after all. But I guess if you're a friend of Bub's, then welcome. I ain't known Bubs to have that many friends.
I lean in a little bit. I'm like, he seems to have taken a shine to me, and I appreciate it. Could you? I kind of turn around and look at the room. Could you point me in the direction of your? Is there a mechanic here? Any specialist? Anybody who's particularly good at that?
Oh, basically everybody but Bubs.
Well, that's ironic.
I mean, you telling me that Bubs took a shine to you? I mean, he probably said that. He probably said he was really good at mechanics. He probably said that he's got a lot of money. All that other stuff, huh?
We hadn't gotten that far yet, but I'm sure he will.
Oh, I'm sure that he will too. If you want your bike to be riding in the morning, you should probably talk to somebody else. She looks around. She goes, "Well, I mean, Ziggy, he's pretty good. I mean, obviously, Jeremiah's the top mechanic out of this whole group. I mean, he's basically lived with motorcycles his whole life. I don't even think he knows how to drive a car. But he's busy right now with the Deputy Benoit. If you see the
and
cop.
I lean down a little lower. I'm like, there's a sheriff in here.
Yeah, well, so this bar actually started as a cop bar, and then it kind of migrated into something, or mutated into something else. That's the word you use, right? Not migrated. Mutated into something else, and now it's mostly a bar for the writers and those people that they invite, but the cops are all still welcome, and they've got a pretty good relationship around here. But I mean, there's not any more city cops, right? So just them sheriffs.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you look around, and she starts pointing at the picture, she's like, "These are all criminals getting hanged for their crimes, right? This was a cop bar when I was a kid. I only remember that it was just cops, no bikers.
Interesting.
But of course, Ada is our mascot, right?" She points at the big picture.
Ada.
Yeah,
what's her story?
Ada LaBeouf. You don't know about Ada LaBeouf?
Not from around here.
Oh, you ain't from anywhere near here then.
Far west.
Well, she's the first and really only woman in history to be hung, a white woman, to clarify, white woman, and she's like looks around at some of the ethnicities. To clarify, I said white woman, who's been who has been hung ever in the United States. But she was the first ever woman hung in Louisiana, right here in Morgan City.
Wow. And you guys remember her?
Well, I mean, she's kind of a big name in Louisiana.
Fair enough.
But she's she's probably our most famous, person of ill repute, as it were, from this area. She fell in love with a criminal. She was married to a doctor, fell in love with a criminal, and when the doctor, her husband, decided that he didn't like that so much, they just went ahead and offed him and threw him into Lake Ballard.
Dang. So, I'm guessing she got caught for that.
Oh, that's why they hung her.
Yep. And you all right. Well, I appreciate the local history.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it's basically our only thing that we can talk about here, because, I mean, it's pretty obvious that this bar... And suddenly the music changes to some Johnny Cash, and, like, a couple of guys, like, yeah! Like, cheer and do thing. It's, like, it's obviously on some kind of, like, random mix, and obviously, whomever made this mix, some people like it, some people don't, but it's just, like, randomly selecting songs.
Cool.
And then some guys shout, "Hey, we need more beer over here, Tricks!" And she's like, I'm coming. And she pours you another shot. She's like, "That one's for me." She walks off.
Thank you. Cool. I'm going to pull up my phone and drink my shot, and I'm going to text you guys. Can you hit the cop's car with the van?
Unmute. I look at Dr. Martin, a bit concerned.
I need him to leave quickly.
I don't think my insurance is going to cover that.
And he knows who I am. She pulled over Bradley.
He tried to talk to you guys.
Yeah, he knows both our faces. That's why I want you to get him out fast.
Oh, God. We all probably drove here in my van, so Bradley's car is probably not an option as a getaway here. Okay. I'm not going to use the van. I'm going... Oh. Okay. Okay. Is Bradley here with us, Doctor? Or do you think you would have left him at home for this?
I would have left him at home for this.
All right. You get in the driver's seat. I'm going to get in the back of my van, point my drone out the back door, and we're going to do a drive-by shooting on the cop's car window.
I don't know if that's a good idea.
This all seems like a bad idea. Oh, a distraction. Something that'll piss the cop off. Oh, I text back, can you start a fight or something? If I get arrested, I'm out.
Start a fight with limb-ripping monsters.
Yeah,
Let me think about it.
How do you feel about arson, Doctor?
I mean, I don't like that police officer, but it's risky.
Wait, he's nearby.
The cop
he's off duty.
The bar. Yeah, the cop is in the bar, and I want you to get him out front.
I guess
I was thinking fender bender, but escalation is escalation.
You know, fender bender is a much smarter option. Yeah. Okay. Here's what I do. Lovely storyteller. Is he near? Like, if I were to be turning into the bar so that I could like turn around on the road, like how far into the parking lot is this cop parked?
The parking lot isn't very big. That whole, like, it's on the street, so like the parking lot's pretty shallow.
Yeah. So this is what I'll do. I'll call my drone back, and I'll get into the car. Oh, I'll have Doctor not come with me because he's been seen before. Go to the church or whatever, and I'll drive. I'll turn into the church parking lot or the bar parking lot, like I'm trying to use it to turn around, and bam, smash right into his like rear tail light or something.
Cool.
Okay.
And
Get out of the van. Oh shit! Fuck!
and as that
Shit! I
happens,
can't hit a cop car.
I'm going to be like, once I know that plan's in motion, I'm gonna cross the room and try to chat somebody up so that my back is to him as he crosses from where he is to the door.
Okay. We'll have you do some stealth roll for that then. We'll have you pull one of those in a second, right?
Cool.
And I will, of course, give you the additional desperation die. So make sure when you do the roller that you add that on. That's another option. So like the /WAD 6 or whatever, and then there's a desperation option. Make sure to select that and then put like a 1
Gotcha.
for that dive. So that way it comes up differently. But Dr. Dreyfus and Joe, when you go to pull this maneuver off where you're pulling the drone back and you go put it in the van, Father Martin comes out of the church or out of like one of the buildings on the church grounds, right? And he's walking towards you with a plate of like cucumber sandwiches. You know, stakeout. You got to eat, right? And like he walks up just at the time that you need to abandon Dr. Dreyfus and like go roll off. So you're leaving Dr. Dreyfus with Father Martin, who's just got a plate of like cucumber sandwiches.
I'll take one of the sandwiches and just be like, it's a young man's game after all.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I remember my days. I remember running vans into police vehicles to distract them before. I've done that. Hunter's got to do what Hunter's got to do, right?
Is this normal among this vocation?
Have you never run a vehicle into a police vehicle to distract the cops so that your friend can do something in a shady bar?
I feel like I've missed out on some things, I fear.
I think that it's you are in for a surprise then if you thought that was not something that happens in this profession. Why don't you just enjoy a cucumber sandwich?
And the show that's about to take place.
And so about a block and a half-ish away, you hear the squealing of tires and then a crash as the van smashes into the back of the police vehicle. Joseph gets out, start his weird rant about how he can't hit a police vehicle. It knocks over some motorcycles, including Alex's motorcycle, which knocks Bubs down on his ass. Right, he falls to the ground.
That's fine.
And then he starts brushing himself off and he gets up. So he's the witness of the incident. He's like, oh, what the hell are you doing?
Oh God! I needed to turn around. I was on the street. I just need to come to the parking lot. Oh God! Oh, my insurance! I don't have this. Oh fuck!
Okay.
Etc. And I played up.
Inside the bar, Alex, you go to make your maneuver, and you just in time to hear the crash outside, which causes like, while there's some Johnny Cash playing, it's not one of his like more louder songs, so everyone hears this crash. And like everybody stops talking and everyone kind of looks toward the door about the time that you do your deal. So make your roll. Or did you make a roll?
Cool. What am I using for this? I'm thinking going like charisma or manipulation plus stealth, since I'm definitely trying to like hide with the group, or do you want like physical stealth?
No, I think it would be manipulation plus stealth. I think probably
Cool.
Probably what it would be. Because you're trying to blend in and hide and try to convince some people that you're not someone standing out, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this is also what you do as an underground person, infiltrate and stuff.
Exactly. Do I get my beautiful benefit?
Which is the desperation die, right?
No. Desperation dice comes from me being underground Creed. Beautiful is an advantage.
Oh, the beautiful. You're right. I don't think in this case it applies because you're trying to not get noticed, right? If anything, it would be a hindrance.
I see. Yeah. I also have unseemly aura, so I don't know if monster sense is going off anywhere. But boom.
Hey.
3 hits,
That's
including
good.
my desperation.
Good. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and make a roll. I'm actually gonna make this an opposed roll for Officer Benoit. But what I'm going to do is he would have 6 dice, but he's going to remove 2 of them because of the distraction outside.
Cool.
Negative. That's only 2 for him. So you are fine. You are fine. Yeah.
Awesome.
He slips by. He turns around. He's like, "Did that sound like a car? That sound like a car." And he just starts moving toward the door. Some of the other guys get up as well, and that's sort of where you're, kind of comes in. You go up to one of the random guys, and he's just like, "Who the hell are you?" Right? And he's over there like trying to figure out who the hell you are, coming up to him, while everyone, like, some guys get up, and then like the sheriff just sort of breezes right past you because there's like bodies in the
Sweet.
way.
Is the boss still here?
He is.
Cool. I'll go over to him.
Cool. And so, Joseph, we'll get back to you, Alex, in a second. Joseph, you're outside, and the door to this place opens up. It's called the Gallows. Opens up, and out of the door steps a person dressed like a sheriff deputy, and like two guys with vests. They're, average-sized white guys with these vests, sleeveless vests. They've got, one of them has a beard, one of them's clean-shaven, but his hair's long, like that kind of thing. And they come out, and he's like, "What in the hell is going on out here?"
I'm so sorry, officer. Oh, I have great respect for everything that the police do. I was coming down the road. I needed to turn around because I realized I left my wallet and my house key at home. So in my panic and my rush, because I have a date I have to get to at a restaurant across town, I tried to turn in here so that I could turn around. And wouldn't it be my luck, I run into your car. I knock all these bicycles down. I'm so sorry, officer.
So are you trying to manipulate him in any way?
Yeah, I think I'm trying to convince him that, 1, this was an accident, and 2, that I'm sorry.
Legit.
I think you'll probably have to make a roll for this because he's a little bit aggravated.
I manipulation plus subterfuge feels like the correct one.
That sounds
it's
correct
not
to
my
me.
best pool, but
That sounds correct to me. And you'll need to do 3 on this one because of the danger.
Okay, this is possible. And then I don't wait. Desperation dice are top if it includes your drive, which this doesn't for me.
Or your creed.
So
What is it? Your creed is entrepreneur, right? You're not building anything.
Entrepreneurial. Yeah. I don't think any. So it's just my 4 dice here. I'm re-rolling these, of course. Fuck. You took a superficial willpower damage, and got 2 successes.
All right, so he just kind of looks at the damage to the vehicle. He looks at your van. He looks at the damage to the vehicle again. Then he looks at the license plates to your van, and he goes, "Out-of-state plates, huh?"
Yeah, I moved here like a few months ago. I haven't.
You know that it's you're supposed to get your license registration updated within 30 days and moving into a new state.
Is it really 30 days, officer? My greatest apologies. I am so sorry.
Have you not read the Louisiana driver's manual?
I am so sorry. To be entirely honest with you, I haven't, officer.
License and registration and your insurance, because I'm going to have to bill you for this.
Yes, sir. Of course, sir. And I reach into my van. I open up the glove compartment, and it falls off, and all my documents fall to the floor. I have to rifle through them. And I come, and I give him my license registration, my insurance info.
So when you turn to step to him to hand him all that stuff, the flashlight's suddenly in your eyes, right? And he's like,
"Oh,
you been drinking tonight, son?"
No, of course not, officer. Stone sober.
Stone sober, huh? But yet you just ran into a police vehicle in a parking lot?
You know, it's a rough night. I'm on a rush. I promise, sir. I would never drink and drive. Never.
And then he snatches your license registration. He starts looking at it. Starts writing all of this information down to write you a ticket for, reckless driving. But then he then writes down his own notebook, like your insurance information. He's like, now the sheriff's office will be billing you for this damage, obviously, Mr. Call. You know what? Hold on,
Yes.
Mr. Call. I think I gotta check the system, make sure you don't have some kind of DUIs or something.
Oh fuck! It just occurred to me how bad this is gonna be. We picked the worst person to run up a police car with this van. Oh yeah, of course, sir. You'll find I have no previous driving offenses, clean record, never been convicted of any crimes.
He says, mm-hmm. He turns to the two guys. He's like, boys, make sure this Mr. Call here doesn't get into his vehicle and try to drive away while I'm running his information. And the two bikers sort of step up, like on either side of you.
So sideways.
Oh, hey, fellas. I like your bikes. I'm so incredibly panicked right now. I just don't want to die or get arrested.
Bubs tries to pick up. He picks up Alex's bike, right, and then he's starting to try to pick up the other ones. And like one of the guys is like, Bubs, that's just gonna piss off Ziggy. Just leave it down so he can fix it later. And Bubs is like, oh, yep, and he just sort of sets it down gently. Like one of the guys, the other guy leans into you. He's like, "You're so dead, kid. You're so dead."
Hey, you know, I'll fix it. Do you want my insurance? I can give my insurance to everybody in this bar.
They kind of look at each other like, well, we'll have to talk to Jeremiah, see if he wants to do that. Yeah, we'll talk to Jeremiah, see what he wants. Yeah, but we'll get the information. Yeah, oh yeah, we'll just talk to him, see what. Yeah. You know what, kid? We'll talk to the boss, see what happens.
The boss, yeah, of course. All of my respect to the boss.
Alex, we're gonna cut to you.
Cool.
Alex, you walk up to the leader, who is at the table by himself now.
Jeremiah, right?
Yeah, it says it right on his jacket.
Cool.
It's Jeremiah. And he's kind of looking at what's going on. He's kind of looking out the door. The door closes, and then he just leans back and starts drinking his beer again. And you come up at this point.
Hi, Jeremiah, right?
That's right. Who are you?
Alex, new in town.
You a friend of somebody, Alex? What are
I'm
you
a friend to
doing in
lots of
my
people.
bar?
Well, my bike was having trouble, and I saw a bunch of others, thought maybe there was a real mechanic in here. I'm told Bubs isn't it. So,
That's an understatement.
mm,
I mean, he's a nice guy, but he don't know shit about bikes.
or security, apparently. And I sit down.
Yep. Good point.
Yeah.
He puts his legs up on the table. Well, you're here now, Alex.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want?
Well, honestly, I want to keep moving. I want to fix my bike and get out of your town as fast as I can. Nothing personal, but
I mean, it's a shit town, so no, yeah, I get it.
yeah, there was this. I used to know a guy from here, and he said I should go to this little place out by the river. When I got there, it was fully burning down. Out by,
Okay.
and I give him the location. You ever heard of it?
I mean, I don't know what you're referencing. There's a lot of stuff out there, but I didn't know about any fire. And you can tell that he's lying. It's like,
Yeah.
like he wasn't expecting to talk about this all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I knew some people who hung out there back when they lived here. They all headed west, and we became acquaintances. Yeah, sad to hear it burned down. Apparently, it used to be quite the party spot.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of people doing lots of fun stuff, if you know what I mean.
Sure.
So, yeah, just a damn shame about that.
It's a damn shame. The shack gets burned down. People want to hang out there.
Yeah. Fortunately, I got to come here instead.
Yep.
Anyway,
By
you can help me with
accident,
that
because
bike?
your bike is breaking down, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yes. Do you think you could give me a hand with that? And I'll dig my wallet out of my bag, try and pay for these drinks.
He leans back and says, I don't think I want to, because I got a question for you.
Cool. Opens bag. What you got?
How'd you know it was burned down?
Smoke?
From what I understand, ain't nobody been out there except for a couple of people that got pulled over.
I mean, I drove by on the road and there was a bunch of smoke.
Road doesn't drive by. It goes to and it comes from. I think maybe
That is interesting.
my friend that was just here might want to be talking to you.
Your friend, the sheriff.
Mm-hmm. Friends with a lot of sheriffs.
Yeah, see, that's not a thing I'm used to.
He's actually a deputy, but I am friends with the sheriff. Could introduce you.
Oh, that'd be really cool. I'd feel a lot safer if I knew the law was on my side.
I don't think it's going to be on your side.
Maybe. And as I pull my stuff out, I pull out like a canteen and then like a pocket knife and I put that down. And then I pull out the thing of milk and then I pull out my wallet.
Yeah, he sniffs the air a little bit and he's like... He leans in a little bit more and he sniffs. The fuck are you?
Just trying to get by.
Who the fuck do you serve?
I like to think I serve the greater good.
So you come into my territory?
Your territory has had a couple of incidents. Things that might have gone uncovered. You seem to have a lock on it, what with the sheriffs, but there's enough people who don't like questions that sometimes you gotta cover shit up, right?
Is that
Hence
what you
the
did?
Fire. Yeah.
Covered some shit up, huh?
Now I am curious about this stuff, but curiosity only gets you so far on your own.
He leans back. Leans back so he can take his legs off the table. He sits down. He goes, "It's interesting you use the word curious, because you know what the saying is, right?"
Curiosity kills cats.
Certainly does. Leans back again.
So you're gonna kill me?
Should I?
What? I mean, seems like we both have an opposed interest to this, so
Oh, I'm not opposed to that.
no, you're not opposed to it.
Don't even know what it is.
So it's unconnected to the torn up bodies?
Didn't say that.
All right. So, torn up bodies, weird chemistry. You could connect the dots, or yeah, I guess I could just fuck off. That's clearly the other thing you want.
Yeah, I mean, seems to me that you're asking a lot of questions. You want to know some things that serve your curiosity. But I don't think you have a master. I think you're some kind of rogue something. And unless whatever you've got is more powerful than what's behind that, you might be in the wrong place, girl, and you probably should ride out of town.
So my backup versus whatever's behind the milk. Or I'm dead. Cool. Nice to know the odds.
Mm-hmm.
Put stuff back in back. Oh, you want to keep this? Do you care?
Trying to hand him the milk?
I'm holding it up. Yeah.
Yep. I'd like
All
that
right.
back.
Slide it across the table to him.
He catches it.
Be careful with it. people who use it keep dying. And yeah, I put the other stuff back in my bag, leaving the handle of my revolver still easily grabbable. Well, it's nice to meet you, Jeremiah. This has been enlightening.
Nice to meet you too, Alex.
And I get up and walk out.
You walk out just in time for the sheriff to get out of his car. He comes walking over. He's got this grin on his face. He's like, Joseph Call.
Yes, officer.
Well, Joseph, seems like we got something interesting happening here. Technically, there's no warrants for you anymore.
Yes, officer. I was found not guilty in a court of law by a jury of my peers.
That you were. But reckless driving, now, I think I'm going to have to take you downtown. Have you take a breathalyzer test to prove that you're stone sober. And by downtown, I mean the sheriff's office, which is in Franklin. So you're going to be coming with me.
I know how the law works in my real life state. Can I see if Joseph knows if he's allowed to refuse a test in the state of Louisiana?
I mean, sure. What would that be?
I feel like intelligence plus academics law.
I guess so, yeah. I would check with that. Because there's not really a law skill, right? There's finance, but that's not what we're looking for.
Academics, maybe politics.
Yeah.
Or
politics,
I guess maybe
politics,
streetwise.
Politics would be
one.
it too, yeah. Well, we can approach it. So do you have any dots in politics?
No. With streetwise, that's not knowing your rights, though. That's me like trying to stretch or something.
Gangs. And
nothing in
stuff
academics.
and
Nothing in politics.
Well,
yeah, I don't have any of their.
I guess you're gonna try just a straight intelligence roll and hope for the best.
Sure. All right.
I'm just gonna set the difficulty at. Well, I don't want to set it at 3, but I kind of do because of the danger. So 3 it is.
Oh. I'm not going to spend another willpower. That is a strictly unwise thing to do, but I'm incredibly tempted. I'm not going to do it.
All right. Yeah, no, this cop sure seems to think that you have to come with him. You don't know enough about Louisiana state law to be able to argue with him.
There aren't any breathalyzers in your patrol car, officer?
It broke.
That's a real shame.
Yeah, would have been fine if someone hadn't run into my truck.
Yeah, that's a phenomenal point. I'm so sorry, officer.
So why don't you? And he opens the back door to his SUV. Why don't you hop on in there?
I get in. I get in the cop car. Alex is coming out by now, so hopefully she sees that I'm being arrested. Okay.
Alex does come out right about this time.
All right, I get in. I let him cuff me if he so chooses.
He does not. He just lets you climb up into the back of the car.
That's good, and with a defeated look on my face.
Now, where do you have the keys to your van on you, or are they still in the van?
I left them in the van in case a getaway needed to be made.
So,
along with my equipment for my drones and such.
Now that you're in his car and he closes the door.
Oh, that's so bad. That's so bad.
He walks over to your van and opens the door. He says, "Oh, it's all right, boys. I just gotta back it up so I can pull out of this here parking lot. Not doing any of those illegal searches and seizures or anything." And then immediately looks into the back of your van with his flashlight.
This is the worst. Alex, you've fucked me. This is the worst thing that's ever happened to me.
I'm very sorry. But on the bright side, it worked. We know they're involved.
Yeah, I mean, he finds what he finds in that van.
Which is?
Well, it's a lot of camera equipment. It's a small little quadcopter drone, and also a big walking dog drone with a gun strapped to its back.
Fuck.
Here's the question. Does
Oh,
he understand
no.
that what he's looking at?
I mean, it looks like a handgun. We can lie and tell him it isn't, but I suspect the DC on that's quite high.
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
Pretty difficult to convince a cop that the thing that looks like a gun is not a gun.
Oh, but I might be able to convince him it's not functional because he doesn't know how to operate my drones.
Yeah, well, you're
It's a
in the back
prop.
of his vehicle right now.
Yeah,
and he's in
sure.
the back of yours.
Yeah,
So
if he asks
looks
me
at
that, I
it,
can lie.
and he gets out. He goes up to the front of his car. He opens the door. He just seems to be kind of casual about it. He opens the door. He leans in. He takes his radio and he calls it and he says, Benoit to base. And the base goes, come in, Officer Benoit. He says, or come in, deputy, right? He says, got a vehicle here outside of the gallows in Morgan City. Think it's going to need to be impounded. I do believe there's evidence of a crime inside. I have the driver in custody. There's a pause, and then there's a copy that. And he sets the mic on the hook. Turns to you. You've got that glass partition between you, right? And he says, Mr. Call,
Yes, officer.
hopefully you have the proper licenses and registrations for the weapons you have in your vehicle.
Of course, officer.
And I assume that when we look at the camera footage of your drones, that they're not going to have any illegal activities on them, such as potentially flying into people's properties and, I don't know, peeping Tomming them windows or anything.
Of course not, sir.
It strikes me as a bit strange that a person is driving around in a van full of camera equipment.
Oh, of course he. Well, I actually run a Patreon and
I
YouTube
don't
channel. where
care,
people
and
can
I should
follow me.
probably now tell you that you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. Do you understand?
Joseph nods.
Good. So, Alex, you see all of this going down.
Okay. Well, back of a cop car is a bad place to be. Don't think I can fix that. But how many people are out here?
There are, there's 3 people aside from Joseph and Deputy Benoit.
Cool. And are they all kind of looking at the van?
Mm-hmm. There, it's Bubs and 2 bikers.
Okay. Could I get to the driver's side undetected?
Depends on how stealthy you try to be.
Cool.
There's definitely a way around if you went like the long way around. Everyone's kind of looking at the cop right now, so they're kind of looking at like the cop car and a little bit of the front of the van. So if you went around the other side, you probably could pull it off.
Cool. Do I think the sheriff is going to sit here and wait for somebody to pick up this van, or do I think he's going to take off before his backup arrives?
Well, so here's the thing. He mentioned that because you heard this part because this was said while you were outside. He mentioned that the police or the sheriff's office is in Franklin. You don't actually know where Franklin is, but it isn't Morgan City. That's what you know.
Yeah.
So it's probably going to be, and it's not the area that you are kind of staying in with the safe house. That's Berwick.
Mhm.
So it must be either on the other side or farther out on the west side. So either way, it's going to be at least 20 minutes or so before anyone arrives.
Okay.
And he's planning on leaving, right? He called in for a thing.
Cool.
And so,
Then can I wait for him to leave and then sneak into the van?
yeah.
All right, let's do that.
So he backs out because he didn't need to go in the van, right? It was just his excuse to unlawfully search the van.
Yeah.
And so he backs out and he drives off.
Cool. I will sneak into the van.
Cool. So like the guys are talking, they're looking at the bikes. Ziggy apparently comes out and he's like, "Oh man," and he's pissed off at his bike. They're all like talking about it, and like Bubs goes, "Yeah, well, I mean, he like came out of nowhere, and that girl like it knocked over that girl's bike. She was inside," and they're like, he's pointing at the door right when you get in the van.
Cool. Okay, real quick. Looking around the back of the van. First things first. I take the pistol off the drone and I put it in my
my
back.
hard work.
You can put it back on later. Is that the only really illegal thing in this van?
Yeah, everything else in that van is completely legal. I have the proper licenses with the FAA for my drone, and nothing is stolen. Yeah.
Sweet. Pistol in bag.
Ooh, do take the quadcopter because I don't know. We were filming bodies and shit.
Yes.
I'm not there. Actually, is that cool, Scott? I don't think that was cool.
Presumably, I was actually going to ask you if Joseph was the kind of guy who would leave like the SD card inside the drone, or
I
if
don't
it would be.
think so.
Yeah, I think you'd probably remove it, right?
Yeah, it's a live feed to whatever other device, which is
Correct.
not currently in the van. So
Yeah.
I don't know, but I don't know how strict you are going to be with being able to pull stuff from that. But yeah,
I was
nothing should
like,
be
I had
stored
the
on that
feeling that Joseph was probably the kind of person that stored it on a cloud server or something that wasn't actually physically
drone.
located.
Something very secure that
Yeah.
even if you had it, you can't get into it if he
Correct.
doesn't want you to.
Like a very
footage
secure
of bodies isn't the thing I
drive
need to
or something.
grab.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Cool.
Yeah. Moral of the story is it's not necessarily here, and or even if it were, they wouldn't be able to access it.
Cool.
Mhm.
Then once I have the pistol, you are basically free of criminal activity. You hit the guy's car, but other than that, you haven't done anything.
Yeah, he's got no evidence.
Yeah. And the reckless driving thing is just because he said so, right? Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the power of being a cop.
Cool. Yeah. In that case, pistol in my backpack, I will hop back out and flank back around and come up to my bike. And these other guys, like, oh shit, what happened?
this guy came out of nowhere and he hit the sheriff's car. Knocked over your bike. I think you're gonna need to see a mechanic about it.
That's why I stopped here. Yeah. Apparently,
Yeah.
I'm on my way though.
Ziggy's like
Bubs.
he starts working on his bike, trying to make sure it's all together and everything's fine. Some dents on it, some scratches.
I will try to lift mine. You want to roll for that? Or am I
No,
just
no, he lifted it for you.
Oh, sweet.
That was the only one that was upright. And then he went to go lift the other ones, right? And the guys told him to back off. Like,
Cool.
probably not smart.
Hey. Thanks. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you could appreciate it by giving me your number.
Bubs. How very forward. Yeah, totally.
Respect.
Cool. He takes his phone back. He's like, "Cool. I'll call you later."
Looking forward to it. Now, if I can just make this damn thing start, I'll take off.
Yeah, it starts fine, but it does that like rattle, right? And like all three of the other bikers are just kind of looking like,
Told you there were problems. Cool.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll head out.
All right.
And I guess I'll probably call the professor
Yeah.
as I get a little ways away.
And so we'll have this interaction, and then we'll take a break where I can cut an actual cut in the episode.
Nice.
So he calls you, or Alex calls you.
Hey,
What are we gonna do about Joseph?
he's not on the hook for any actual crimes. If he can survive an interrogation, which the little I know about his past says that he can.
Smash cut.
Then-
I will not speak anything without my lawyer present.
Perfect. Then he should be out soon. I snagged the quadcopter so we can maybe use it to keep an eye on his vehicle, make sure they don't mess with any of his stuff. But otherwise, I confiscated the gun from it, so he hasn't committed a crime.
Good. All right.
Who knows? Maybe he can get something out of the cops because they're clearly in league with our creature. Oh yeah, those guys definitely wear some things. He asked if I had a master and could smell the milk effect. You may have been right about the corporate strike team. Like, he knew. Oh, boss's name is Jeremiah. So if we want to pick somebody up later for questioning, he's probably our first choice. Yeah.
So I think we need to, like, basically, I don't think we should immediately rush down there. Only because I don't think we necessarily need to let them know that we're all working together. So we should wait until he gets his phone call, maybe,
Mm-hmm.
and then maybe see what
Yeah.
our options are.
Right now, the only one who can reliably connect us is this Benoit guy, right?
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's
All
wait
right.
for him to get his phone call, and then I don't know what to do in the meantime.
I mean, until we're ready to really look at the manufacturing setup,
Mm-hmm.
I am not sure what our next step is.
I think we should try and use the milk to bait a couple of these guys out. I could only ask them a certain amount, in their bar.
Mm-hmm.
But if we can get a couple of them alone or, locked down, captured, they might be a lot more talkative. I know I can get one of them alone, but I'm not sure he's aware.
Do we know if they're addicted to it?
I don't know. I don't know.
What I am curious for is what purpose does the milk. So you said he asked you who your master was.
Yeah.
Well, how does milk serve its master? That's what we don't know. And we don't know if these guys want to destroy it, control it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, we know that they're involved, but we don't know how. And I would hate to think that we were potentially
Helping the monsters.
yes.
Yeah. That's kind of why I want to get one of them alone.
Mm.
I mean, I don't know how we do that without giving this stuff to somebody and using them as bait. But like I say, I could get one of them alone.
Right.
But the doorman did not strike me as well informed.
Well, you said he was one of their like what apprentices or something like that.
A pledge, yeah.
Yeah.
He's not going to be in on the big secrets.
Mhm.
That said, he might be willing to talk to me.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
If we can leverage that, yeah, possibly.
I could pick up rumors from their end a little bit more about the organization. Yeah. Step one is definitely getting Joseph back, but step two is probably putting the screws to one of these bikers.
And we are missing
Or the sheriff.
something.
Mhm.
But I don't know what it is that we're missing, so I don't even know how we're going to look for it.
Yeah. We've got some disparate pieces.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Well, I think our first focus is to get Joseph back.
Mm-hmm.
I am gonna with Father Martin there, and we saw him get arrested, right?
Yep.
So, I'll ask, while I'm
Can
there,
Father Martin be the one who bails him out? That would keep Benoit from connecting you to Joe.
right? But then it would also,
Because he knows you're connected to me. And if he connects me to you to Joe, then it's clear the whole thing was a setup.
right?
See what I'm saying?
Yeah. But then also, I don't. Yeah.
At this point, can we have like physically regrouped?
Yeah, for sure. Like, you were really only a block away. You didn't even need to call him, but you could have called him because you were doing a loop around and you didn't want to just go straight to the church, right?
Yeah, I want to
Yeah.
seem like I left fully.
Right.
Right.
So you went the opposite direction and then several blocks down, made a turn, and then went down several more blocks, made a turn, came back.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, bigger question. How do you plan to get back? Father Martin says.
From the police station.
No, I mean, you do have a motorcycle. Alex, you're fine, but Doctor, I believe that you have no more ride.
It's true. It's true. I am not sure how I will get back.
You want to hold on?
Oh, wait. I can get Bradley to pick me up.
Or you could get on the back of my motorcycle.
Or I could get Bradley to pick me up.
On, Doc.
Well, I actually have a car. I was gonna offer you a ride back to your safe house. I know where it is. But I do have a couple of errands to run, if you don't mind.
I mean, I can do that too.
I'm actually gonna text you as I'm just sitting there. I'm like doing my phone. Like, go with him, check him out.
Yeah. So we're gonna go, and while he's running his errands, I'm gonna make kind of idle talk.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it'll be kind of to see if I can get some kind of a read on him. Like, not necessarily is he legit as much as it's what
What's his deal?
why isn't he being more active? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, Alex, you just head back to the safe house then?
Yep.
Where Bradley's at, doing research, and Jason doing research.
Head back to the safe house. I'm
Okay.
gonna do some yoga, smoke a joint, try to shake off the intense stress of what I just did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was some seriousness there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I definitely sat across the table from a thing that pulls people in hat part and said, "What are you gonna do? Kill me?"
Funny, you should ask.
Maybe could be on the table.
Chief, what do you think?
I'm not gonna not kill you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We'll get to you, Joseph, in just a moment. We're gonna do this
Yeah, no problem.
interaction with Dr. Dreyfus and Father Martin.
Yes.
Martin and Martin in a car.
Yes.
So in this drive with him, you get in, and he starts to pull out of the church. And he says, "Actually, Doctor, I wanted to get you alone, away from the others, because there's some things that I thought that maybe you'd be interested in."
Yes.
It has come to my attention that some of the information that I gave you on the first meeting might have been inaccurate.
Oh. Yes.
When I said that several years ago there was a cult here or group here that was doing something bad, and then they were removed from the town when other hunters came in and stopped whatever it was they were doing, I believed at the time that they had all died.
The hunters.
Yes. I now have reason to believe that they are not all dead. In fact, some of them, I think only a few of them died. That the others survived. And there were more that survived than died.
Interesting.
The reason I'm telling this to you, Doctor, is because there's I don't know the others very well. And I fear that they might not understand the psychological impact that comes with being a hunter.
Yes, it's how we process trauma is very individual, and in jobs like this, it's important to make sure that you're processing it properly.
Mm-hmm. He pulls up. He hasn't driven very far. It's only been a minute or so. And he pulls into what appears to be some kind of community garden area. He stops in front of me and says, No, excuse me. I honestly do have a errand that I must run. If you'd like to look around the garden, I just have to drop off some things.
Yeah, I will kind of, I'll be there. Kind of just, I'm going to try to stay like I am looking at the, like I'm looking just at the garden and stuff, but I'm also trying to keep an eye on him to see what he's doing.
So he gets out of the car. It's just like a typical 4-door sedan kind of thing with a mid-sized everything. Not too old, not too young. And then he gets something out of the trunk. It's like a basket with some stuff, looks like seeds and some plants and stuff that he clearly bought at a local like Lowe's kind of thing, but not from Morgan City, obviously, because like unless there's a Home Depot that you haven't seen, must have come from out of town somewhere. But he carries it into the garden. You can see a few people. It's getting late, and it looks like most people are packing up and they're like cleaning up for the night. But there's a couple of people here still. They're all just like various. There's like an old lady and a young person, like a young girl. And then there's a nun who is in the garden who he walks up to give the stuff to. This nun has like a burn scar on the side of her face. And she takes the basket from him. They talk for a minute. She doesn't it's like she doesn't smile. It's not that she's unhappy. It's like you wonder if she can't smile, right? Like it's like she's not cordial in their conversation. He smiles a couple of times like he's being nice to her. You can't really hear what they're talking about. But one of the girls approaches you and she says, are you in the car or are you outside the car?
Oh, I'm outside.
Yeah. So she comes up and she's like, well, hello, are you new to the parish?
I am a colleague of the Good Fathers.
Oh, okay. So you're another priest then?
No, but I am a scholar.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Well, welcome. Yeah. This is Hope's Garden. This is our project.
Oh. And tell me about it. What is it?
Well, we're trying to what we're trying to do is we're trying to show that we can bring life to some plants who that might be dying. Oh, I'm Lisette, by the way.
Martin.
Oh, well, nice to meet you, Martin. Yeah, we're just trying to grow plants. All of this area used to be like an industrial waste zone. Like this is where, as you can see, and she's like, you're in the industrial area, right? And there's just like factories. Some of them are run down. Some of them seem to be working all around you. And there's just like this open spat of land, which is this community garden. She says they used to just pollute all of this, and so we're just trying to clean it up. Replace the topsoil and put some hardy plants and grow them and show that like life can be renewed out of this ruined soil.
Yes, kind of a rebirth, as it were.
Yeah, like a rebirth, like the rising of Jesus.
Yes. And what types of plants are are you using for this? Is there specific types that you're using, or are you just using the plants that we had that have always grown here? What?
Oh no, so none of the plants that used to grow here, they all died because of all of the pollution. So I mean, none of them are native plants. But you could see the Father Martin just brought in some new ones from some of the nurseries, but we've been getting them from local nurseries and things. They're just kind of a smattering of different plants. Why don't we go look? Let me show you. So we've got some of these, and she starts saying like the technical names of some plants, and she just kind of shows you around a little bit as you walk around with her. She's like, and then we've got some of these, and then I'm honestly not sure what these are. These kind of vine-looking things. But they do grow, and they grow pretty well.
Am I recognizing any of these?
Are there some of them are normal
mushrooms?
Plants. None of them are mushrooms. Are mushrooms. But they are all relatively normal plants, except for the ones that she can't identify. You have no clue what the hell kind of plant it is. It looks like some halfway between like an aloe plant and like a snake vine kind of thing, like a strange, like a flat green leaf that grows up in bunches, but with like thorns on the edges. Not something I've ever seen before.
I'm looking at these plants and the way that they're shaped and such, do they appear to maybe have any symbolism that might be unnatural? I'm gonna try to sense the unnatural.
Sense the unnatural. I see.
Yes.
Yes. Why don't you sense the unnatural?
All right. Let me do so. Okay. That's 5. And then a desperation 1. Do we have a certain difficulty?
Yeah, it's gonna be 3.
Yeah, I will reroll
Okay.
those failures.
You got this.
So that was 2 successes, and you're gonna go ahead and try to re-roll 3.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, buddy! 3
There
more.
we go.
Let's go.
That's 5. All right, cool.
Yes. Yes.
So you decide to reach out with this sort of sense that you have, where you're sort of staring at the plants, looking at the patterns in the leaves, the patterns that they grow, the patterns of the plants in general, somebody planting them in a symbol or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you start to get the very odd feeling that something here is unnatural. And it's because you got so many successes. There's 2 unnatural feelings. Now, let's read what it says under sense the unnatural.
Yeah, I was just getting to that myself.
They're specific things.
Yeah.
So when you
Or
achieve,
it's like certain, yeah.
when you achieve a win, depending on the type of power and creature, must achieve a win on edge depending on the use intentionally. The use is intentional and obvious, and the hunter must hold their object of focus. What was your object of focus? Oh, your book, right? That's right. The book
Yes.
you're holding in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't indicate who or what the creature is, only that it's close. The ability may be used more than once per scene, and requires a number of willpower for each additional attempt. Right. And you don't have any perks on it, right? You just have that.
Right. At this point, I only have the.
Yeah. So you feel something unnatural here.
Mm.
Maybe 2 somethings. You're not sure.
Right. Okay.
Now these plants, I think these were donated, but you'd have to talk to Sister Angelique about that. I don't actually know.
And then I'll kind of point over. Is that Sister Angelique over there?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Yeah, no, I would definitely thank you very much, Lisette. I appreciate you taking the time to share this
Oh, well, I appreciate
wonderful bounty of flora that you are, and as you attempt to start anew the whole wonderful blessed circle of life.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that you've taken an interest in our little restoration project.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's it is certainly something that Father Martin seems passionate about, and we have definitely discussed the benefits of this kind of faith and why it is important for us to be active in returning the world to what we need it to be.
That was a very nice sentiment. I like that.
Yes.
Father Martin approaches at this point and says, okay, I have one more errand to run, and then we can get to Berwick.
Yes. And I'll be like, yes, this is very interesting that you're kind of bringing back, life where at one point it was failing.
You'd say that to him or her?
To him.
Oh, yes. Sister Mary Angelique's project is a good one. She approached the diocese about it not that long ago, and it's been pretty active ever since they first approved it. She went straight to the city, and the interesting thing is this is not just a garden. All of the volunteers are selected from a particular set of people. That's how she was able to get funding from the city. Sister Lisette there, as he's walking away, is like, she comes from a troubled home, and as well as many of the others. Most of the volunteers here come from broken homes or abusive relationships. Some of them are teen mothers, abuse survivors, that kind of like. In Lisette's case, she is a child of an abuse situation in which she went into the foster system and then was eventually adopted. So, yeah.
Well, then I am glad that this exists for them.
It's a good program.
It sounds like it.
And so he leads you back to the car where he has another errand to run. The errand is incredibly mundane. He had to pick up some stuff for the next mass, and so he just stops at the market and grabs a few things.
What does he grab?
It's just like some napkins and some just regular random stuff. Nothing that stands out. Bottle
Not
of
like
wine.
copper bowls and
No, it's like regular things. Like he buys a bottle of wine that he scrutinizes. Like he checks like 3 different bottles of wine and then chooses one that's relatively affordable. That kind of thing. He just
Gotcha.
kind of does some shopping.
Yeah, the store and
the store's closing, so like he had to do it now or else like he wasn't gonna get it done, right?
Oh yeah, it's the evening.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. So,
the rest of your conversation, you wanted to suss him out and see if some other things from him, and then I can jump over to Joseph.
Yeah, I mean I think I've gotten what I need to get out of him.
The one thing he tells you about that, he sort of finishes what he was saying, and he says that he's pretty sure that Mama Gigi, who runs a chicken shack over by the lake, a chicken shack that isn't officially there, so you're not going to find it on a Google search. Like everyone, all of the locals know it exists, but it's definitely like not up to health codes and definitely doesn't have a business license kind of thing.
Right.
That Mama Gigi might know where the surviving hunters are. She's been around for a while. So he doesn't know. But he's got some information that has come to him that suggests that she may be. Or might have been.
Interesting. Well, you have been as illuminating as ever, and I cherish these meetings between us.
Yes. And he takes you back to the safe house in Berwick.
Excellent.
Joseph.
Yes.
It takes about a half hour to 40 minutes or so to get from Morgan City to Franklin. It's about 30 minutes to get you to Franklin. It is if you thought that Berwick was a small suburb of Morgan City, you did not get to Franklin. And now that you're here, you wonder why this is the county seat. Like, it's a very small town, has very little going on, except for a whole bunch of like official businesses or official government offices. That's essentially all that's there. And then like trailers, spread out pretty far. Every tree that's near a house has like blue bottles hanging upside down from it. It's just like what appears to be some kind of very low class town. Except for where there's official government offices in the city center.
I guess first question, being that we're monster hunters, is Joseph familiar with what the blue bottle thing means? I am, but I don't know if he is.
What is your cult level?
0.
0.
So I think I get the expected no, but
Not a whole lot.
yeah.
Not a thing. He doesn't know what that means.
Yeah, he's looking. He's, as you said, confused that indeed this is where all the important government shit happens.
He eventually rolls up to what is clearly a county sheriff's office in jail.
Okay, so I'm not getting fully disappeared, which is sort of was on my list.
And he lets you out of the car. You're not handcuffed until you get out of the car. Then he handcuffs you because he officially arrested you.
Yeah.
You weren't arrested when you got in the car, but you are now.
Yeah. Am I being detained? Oh, never mind.
I will take that as a yes.
So they go through the normal process. You've been through this procedure before where, they take, fingerprints and some pictures and tell you what you're in for, which is, reckless driving in the possession of illegal materials, i.e. a gun on a drone. And then they force you into a breathalyzer test, which comes back negative, as you have not drank alcohol today yet.
That's correct. Yet, yeah.
So you are fine. So that just gets dropped, right? There's no driving under the influence thing.
Mm-hmm.
But they put you in like a holding cell, and they put you in there. That's where they put you.
Don't I get a phone call? Yeah.
Are you saying you need a lawyer?
Indeed.
All right. Give them a phone call. So then they get you back out of the cell. They take you to one of the phones that you can use, and they sit you down, and they let you use the phone.
Yeah. Now, my go-to lawyer would normally be somebody who I don't expect is going to be able to make it down here tonight. So instead of him, I will call the public defender office.
Okay. Public defender's office is closed for the evening.
That's a shame.
So they look at you, and one guy goes, "You want to make a second call, don't you?"
If you'll let me.
Seems like you didn't get a hold of your lawyer, so better call another lawyer.
Yeah, I guess I'll call Kent. Fuck it. What else? They know they have to come bail me out. I don't have anything better to do.
Where's Kent from?
I said an agent entertainment lawyer, so probably L.A., New York, somewhere where there is an entertainment business.
Got it. All right. So on the third ring, he picks up what? I don't have your character sheet in front of me. What is his full name?
Kent Hawley, Esquire, I guess, because he's a lawyer.
You've called Ken Hawley.
Hey, Kent. Yeah, I apologize for calling collect. I got your back on that. I know you're...
Whoa. Is this Joe?
It's Joe. Yeah, an unfortunate misunderstanding occurred. Nothing big trouble.
An unfortunate misunderstanding. Did I just hear that?
Yeah, that's what I think I would call it.
Joe, whenever you say there's an unfortunate misunderstanding, that usually lands us in a pretty hefty legal situation, doesn't it?
Yeah, you make a good point there, Kent.
As your lawyer, I'm going to recommend you stop using the phrase... What was the phrase again? Unfortunate...
Told me to stop using it.
Good. On an unfortunate misunderstanding. I don't want you to use that phrase anymore, Kent.
You got it. Now, I am in... no, it's not Berwick. Different area of the city. Franklin, thank you. I am down here in Franklin, Louisiana. Really out in the boonies. If you can make it down here, that'd be great. But if you know anybody in town, that'd be perfect.
I mean, golly. Jesus Christ. I don't know if I know anyone in the boonies out in Louisiana. wherever the hell the boonies are, but I guess that's why they call them the boonies.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? I might know a guy in I don't know, Baton Rouge, or hell, I don't know. I probably could call some people. I probably know some people somewhere. I could make some calls. Probably figure this out. I mean, sure that we could figure this out.
Yeah.
So
Don't have bail
what is
set
the
to-
name? What is the
Sorry.
name of the agency that has you held? Where are you being held?
Is it it's a sheriff's, or is it Morgan City Sheriff, Franklin, Louisiana Sheriff's? I apologize. This is
Louisiana, Morgan, and then the sheriff says St. Mary's Parish, and he like points at his patch.
St. Mary's Parish.
Shirt.
Thank you so much, Sheriff. I appreciate you. St. Mary's Parish.
St. Mary's
Louisiana.
Parish. Okay, St. Mary's Parish, Louisiana. Okay, yeah. You know, I will have to look into it. I'm sure that I know somebody somewhere. Maybe in New Orleans. I'm sure I could figure that out. I'm sure that I could make a call someone. I know someone probably. I know some people in Texas. I'm sure they know some people down there.
Mm-hmm.
So give me I don't know, an hour or 2 hours. See if I can get some phone calls, and then see if I can get somebody sent over to you and help you out.
Yeah, and can I ask you for one more favor? And of course, you'll be compensated for your work. I wouldn't dare waste your time.
Of course, absolutely. Always compensated for my work. This is already costing me $350. Just letting you know.
Hey, you know what? You pay for the service that you get,
Yep.
and I pay for great service.
Yeah.
There's a man in town called. I look around. I stop. Could you just call this phone number for me real quick? This person's in town with me. They might be able to help me out. I don't know. I don't give out Father Martin's name, but I do say the phone number because I don't know if he's got burners or what his deal is.
Sure.
So I just ask Kent to call this number for me, just so that they know that I am alive and locked up, and hopefully we'll be able to have bail made soon enough.
Sure. Yeah, and he's like, all right, hold on, let me put this in my phone over here. Wait, is this that guy that consulted on your case? That priest guy? He coming up in my phone as priest guy.
Yeah, he's a friend of mine. He just asked for a favor. He's why I'm in town. He's not involved with why I'm in here right now. I just someone I know who's around who I can, let him know that I'm safe.
Yeah, I never thought I was gonna have to call this guy, but I got his number. All right, that's fine. I'll call him for you.
Yeah, appreciate
we'll
that.
get it figured out.
Yeah, thank you, Kent.
Yep. Like I said, give me a couple hours. I'm sure I could get somebody on the phone somewhere, and you probably get things worked out. You may have to spend the night. I can't guarantee that they get you out tonight, but I can definitely make some calls.
Okay, awesome. I appreciate that so much.
All right. And he hangs up.
Awesome. And then Yep.
Okay. Like the sheriff deputy, that is not the same sheriff deputy. This is a different one. He just kind of goes, phone call done.
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's get back in the cell then, shall we?
You say it, I'll do it.
And then right then there's like a phone call, and the guy that brought you in, Deputy Benoit, he just assumed, what? Okay, no, there was definitely a gun in the van when
Yes!
I arrested him. Well, we're still gonna hold him because for the night, because he, while he didn't test positive, he definitely was a reckless driver. Yeah. Okay, I'll do the paperwork. It's fine. And then you get pushed into the cell.
Yeah.
You didn't know that anyone had done anything for you.
So I'm very surprised, very happy to see Benoit made to look goofy. So a mixture of shock and joy.
Yeah. Now that you're sitting in the cell, now you have some hope because looks like them lawyers are probably going to be able to get you out fairly quickly.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean,
get this unfortunate misunderstanding cleared up.
A lawyer showing up and or calling in over a reckless driving custody hold. That's probably an easy one.
You're out of the woods.
Yeah. I'm not going to die.
Yeah. Like worst case scenario, you end up spending half the night here, and then you get out, and then you've got to do a whole thing later with like a potential traffic violation and some other stuff, right?
Yeah.
But you're also in like custody where there's cameras and stuff, so you're okay for now.
Mhm.
I'm having another terrible idea. This one might be a better. You don't actually have insurance on the van, right?
No, I have liability insurance, so I can't get it repaired, but I have the minimum legal insurance to drive in the United States.
Cool. I guess Alex will ask Dreyfus, hey, if a vehicle gets damaged while it's impounded, are the cops liable for that? Is that like a thing? Would they have to pay us? Or him? That's a shame.
Nope.
All right. I'll do my anarchy some other way.
Nope, you're not going to get him a payout.
That would... I'm just saying that van could use the tune-up.
The phone call to the Father Martin comes in right after he drops Dreyfus off, so that'll be off screen somewhere. But it is only a few hours before a very young, very green, potentially not really out of law school lawyer comes to the sheriff's department, or sheriff's office, demanding that you be released, because you've done nothing wrong and you're innocent of all crimes, whatever they are.
Based.
The Ute in question.
The Utes. The two Utes in question here. Oh, there's only one Ute.
What's a Ute? Excellent.
Yeah, but he's just a young. He is in law school. He's actually studies in Shreveport, probably somewhere else. But anyway, he studies law somewhere nearby, roughly 2 hours-ish drive away. And he's friends with friends of Kent, right? Like, it's like this long chain of like friends of friends of friends. But he's handling your case down here, which is like cool casework he gets, like, internship for.
Yeah.
But he's also getting a cool kickback of like $50, an hour versus
Sure. Yeah.
yeah, $350. So Kent's giving him like the extra 50 on that to handle this. So he does this thing, and like legitimately just the intimidation of like, oh, we're gonna get you for wrongful arrest and illegal search and all kinds of stuff, right? For the stuff because there was nothing in the vehicle when he asked for the report, there was nothing in the vehicle for you actually to have been arrested for. So he's got all kinds of like ammunition like in his gun that he's just throwing at them, and they respond by just letting you out and giving you your
Let's
keys
go.
and telling you to get lost.
Yo, and I get it unimpounded.
Yeah.
What a win.
Yeah. Because there was no reason for them to have impounded it in the first place.
Yeah, of course.
They should have just left it in front of the bar. That's on them. That's on them for towing it, essentially.
Cool.
And so you get your phone back and you get all your stuff back.
Oh God, my phone! I immediately like, oh, what did they find? What did they find? It's locked. I have my passcodes on.
They didn't have time to get a search warrant to search it before the lawyer showed up and started slapping them with all kinds of like cease and desist and motions to suppress and all kinds of other things he was throwing out of his hat.
I want to hug this poor law student, but I don't. But I do thank him profusely, and I make payments to the appropriate people.
Yep.
Excellent.
We'll give him a name and add him to your touchstone list if you want to use him as a lawyer in the future.
That's not a bad idea.
All right. That'll be something we handle between sessions.
I think I'm going to join Joseph shortly after he gets out of impound.
Sure.
I'm going to have headed down there on the motorcycle and then like...
Yeah, it's easy enough to like Google up and like Google Maps the GPS, the Franklin the St. Mary's Parish Sheriff's Office in Franklin, right? It's super easy to find.
Do they have like their own cars and vehicles and stuff? And
yep.
Cool. Is there like a fence around them?
Yep.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm not sticking around for this fight. I'm out.
There absolutely is fence around them.
Cool. How tall is it?
Good question.
Also, I have a Colt 3. Do I know what the blue bottles mean?
You do.
What do they
So the blue bottles are it's sort of a folk belief that spirits will get stuck in the bottle. Specifically, that spirits can move through the bottles, but good spirits are fine. They'll pass right through and move on because they're light. Whereas bad spirits will get trapped in the bottles. Think of it like a poor man's dream catcher.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting. Super, super superstitious.
So it is 10 feet tall.
I assume it's like well lit and stuff.
Mhm.
Cameras, maybe.
Potentially.
I want to slash some tires, but I think that's a bad idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll skip out.
There are some personal vehicles parked in front of the place, though. Don't know who they belong to.
You know what? I won't do it at the police station. I'll go to like City Hall and slash some tires.
Okay.
I'll just do like maybe a dozen random slashings around this little neighborhood.
Sure.
Mostly because anarchy, but also because it might force the sheriffs to patrol their own neighborhood more. Be less our problem.
Okay. I'll grant it to you.
Cool.
Grant it to you. We will take care of that between sessions. All right. So he gets out after you've slashed some tires, waiting for a while for him to get out because it takes a little while.
I get bored.
Yeah.
Don't let Alex get bored, you guys.
Clearly.
Cool. And
Yeah.
Dreyfus, were you doing anything before Joseph got out? Aside from talking to Father Martin?
I don't think so. I am honestly kind of at a loss of where to go next.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
Maybe I'll do some meditation.
Sure. Fine by me. All right. So everyone's out and free. And I think maybe, unless anyone has any things they want to do, maybe this is where we end the session for today. So that we can think about what to do next.
I think that is an excellent plan.
Yeah.
Agreed. My next move is pretty involved.
Okay.
Yeah, and I know what I'm going to do next, but this feels like a great place to stop.
Sure.
That was an adventure.
Yes, it was. So we're going to end this session now with you, with your group, having gone to a bar, having spoke to someone who seemed to not be intimidated by your threats of criminal activity, and seemed to know more than he should have, or than you do, and then arrested and released. But also,
And a magical garden. Yeah.
We also find out that there's a garden with something going on in it, and potentially some former hunters still around the area. So next time we'll find out more about what's going on and find out what is happening next.
We have 6 beers. We just need the plastic thing that holds it together.
All right, everyone. Then we'll see you next time.
Next time.
Bye.